Hi, it's James Harrison here to talk about the next hot topic. If you want to call it that, it might even be more of a educational thing. And what we're going to talk about today is clear heads versus coated heads. And part of that process is understanding what it is. Now, in the most basic sense, a clear head, this is an Emperor, which is a 2-ply head, but an Ambassador is a single-ply 10 mil head. Every company has a clear head. It's a mylar film of some kind. Clear meaning it's it's a smooth surface. There's no coating of any kind applied to the head. Okay, a coated head. Now in this case, I'm showing you one that has a dot on it because I use these as a lot on the snare. A coated head has a paint applied to it. You can hear that texture. On a smooth head, you don't hear anything. Okay, on a coated head, you do. Now, if I took two of the same exact heads, size-wise, and let's just use Ambassador as an example, this is basically an Ambassador with a dot. If that dot wasn't there, and I put another Ambassador next to it, the head is exactly the same, except this paint is applied to this, what they call coating. And generally, a coated head is going to be a little bit warmer. And what I mean by that is because that paint's applied to it, it's going to take away some of that cut, some of that bright sound that you might get from a clear head. That is really the only difference. However, a lot of jazz drummers prefer coated heads because it allows them to play brushes on the head to get sound. And they prefer them all around the kit, not just the snare, because a lot of times they can play the brushes on the other surfaces too. That's probably one of the biggest differences. Now, a lot of rock drummers, they usually have something like this on their snare, but clear heads on their toms because they're looking for a sound that will cut and penetrate through louder volumes. Where the jazz players are looking for something that's a little warmer that will settle in and not be as bright. Typically, they play darker cymbals. They don't clean their cymbals as often because they want everything to be sound controlled. As opposed to rock, they want everything to penetrate sound wise. Now, that's the biggest difference. The heads, for every head, there's an offering that's the same in clear or coated. It's just how much coating do you want? How much attack do you want to be subdued a little bit? Or how warm do you want that to sound? That's probably the biggest difference. Well, a lot of people don't like the coated heads when they get dirty. Here's a dirty one. All right? They don't like that look, where a lot of jazz drummers, unless that is so smooth like that, where here they can still get that brush sound, but here there's nothing. They might change that. Okay? Now, the brush won't make a sound there, but they can still get around the edges of it if they want to. Again, this is a snare head. This was on a rock set, but a lot of players don't like the way that looks, where I could take another head, and this particular one, this is an Emperor X. It's pretty thick with a dot. This is an Emperor 14-inch head that was on a floor tom, and I hope you can see it in the picture. It's got quite a few stick marks and everything on it, but if I go around this way or through here, you don't hear anything different. But it doesn't look as used because this shows a lot more wear and a lot more dirt. But you have to think about the sound that you're going for. And a lot of people go strictly by what they think looks good. A lot of times on the bottom of their drums, instead of just having a clear head, they might have a black head because they like the way that looks. Or they might have a mirror type head because they like the way that looks. Where I've never really cared about what the bottom of the head, the bottom drums look like. I care about what they sound like. Most of the time I'm using an Ambassador on the bottom heads. Okay, Ambassador weight type head. So coated head, if you want to think about a piece of glass, and if you took some spray paint and just went over that glass, the glass is going to be, if you tapped on that glass and then you painted the edge of it, painted over the top of it, and then you tapped on it, the brightness of that glass, the attack of it would be muted a little bit. That's exactly what happens with drum heads. So clear, more penetrating, probably hides dirtiness. Coated a little warmer sounding, more options with creating sounds on it because of the brush type surface. And again, but it does show more wear and tear or more dirt. So you can always clean these up, but if you use a magic eraser or something to do that, you're going to smooth out some of that roughness. But at the same time, I know jazz drummers that immediately get a new head and then purposefully take some sandpaper and go over it a little bit just to take away the edge a little bit. So you have to, it doesn't matter what company you're with. I mean, I'm a Remo guy right now, but the big thing is you should find something that you like. Coated or clear, both options sound great.